The duck is back, the duck is back, the duck is back. Little bit to get through today, fighting the rain, so hopefully you'll be able to hear this. I made this. This is, it's like a nut. Well, it is a nut. It's a nut. And it goes on here. And what we're going to do today is, I've got a couple of things to show you what I've made. And the first one I want to show you is this. And this is made out of macrocarpa wood. And with a hole through it, through there, you see. And what we're going to do, what that is going to be used for, I'll just spin you around here. Is basically the problem that what I have with these pistons is we want to push this pin out from in here, right? And this is what it looks like when the pin is out. And basically the conrod comes up from the crank and connects in there, and then you slide the pin through. Okay, so what the problem is that if you understand that these pistons are in a good nick, and I believe we can use them again in another engine. So to try and get them off without damaging the piston and without damaging the bearing down in the crank, which is down in there. So on the other side, we have inside here, make sure you can see, inside here is a clip, you see, which holds this pin in. Now, I've already removed the pin on the other side, and then it dawned on me about 3 days ago that if I don't know what, mate, I just think of these things. So what I've just, it's going to be a bit of a flip-flop around. Okay. Just bear with me. So what I've decided to do is this is my homemade now I'm having a brain, but this is it's a sliding hammer, right? And basically you hook this to things, and it's used for pulling stuff out. You know, you need to tap something out. I made this about 10 years ago, and in here, in this red box, there is all sorts of different attachments what go onto this. So this one, right, you can see how I've made that out of an old bolt, right? And then this one here is for pulling seals out of real mongrel places where you can't get in, you see? And basically what happens is it goes goes in there like that. There's a lock nut on here. This is the adapter, right? And this was all, I made the whole thing. I know it looks like a, yeah, I just think it looks like a piece of shit, to be honest. But the thing is, I made it 15 years ago, and the amount of work that it's done has just been colossal, right? And now I've got all these different ends what go onto it. Where when I was working on excavators and dozers, make these things up. This is a bolt-on plate, you see, and that, all of these things just spin off, and then that spins on, you see. So if you're not really, this would bolt onto something, and then you bolt that on, lock it on there with your lock nut, and then you thump it off, you see. It's called a slide hammer. And the reason why I made this is because I was working for a company, and they didn't want me to adapt their one. So I made my own. Here's another one, you see. That's for doing 8mm stuff, getting nuts or something out, right? So, in saying that, the plan is, I thought it was quite cunning actually. The plan is, we'll put that on there, lock that on, lock that on there. And the reason why I'm showing you guys this is how you can make stuff to get yourselves out of jams, right? So this is the piece that's going to go through the piston, right? And I'm going to put this thing here is a hand. Basically, what I did is I got the gasket off the top of the I got it off the top of the barrels, and then I used that to make a pattern. See, to make a pattern, and that's going to be the thing what holds. This is what's going to hold the piston for us instead of me, and that'll stop any stress going onto the big ends, the bearings down the bottom. So we've locked that on. Put this one on. This is all theory. I've not tried any of it at the moment. It's all theory. When I say theory, I've just made it up in my head. I haven't tried it out. Lock that onto there. And the reason why I do stuff like this is so, I've said it before, the next time that job comes around, it's just so much easier. And then, I don't know if I'm getting out of the shot here. I think I am. And then that one will go on there. So, without further delay, I'll spin you back again. Right, and I'm going to try and set it up so you can Right. Okay, now just bear with me. Okay, so this is the nut, and inside's the circlip in there. And what I've done is I've made this smaller than the circlip, right? And on the end here, on the end of this, you can see it's slightly curved. I don't know whether you can see that. Okay. I had another bit. What did I do with that? And the old piston, I had that kicking around. So, as an example, this is my old piston here, you see. So we're going to put it through, and then that curve, you see, that will spin onto the end of that, and that curve, the OD, the outside diameter of this, is smaller than the pin, right? And then when we pull on it, because of that curve, it will always it will centerize itself inside that pin. Okay, that's the theory. Okay, so let's see if it works, because it's when these ideas, so I've got to pull them back, and then this goes on here, and this is the problem. You see, when you're working by yourself, you've got to have ways of doing this, you know, by yourself. And I know some of you will be going, oh yeah, like some mechanics will be going, oh yeah, but I just buy that, I've got this special tool what takes blah 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 out. And you know, every time I hear that special tool come out, now it's not wanting to go in there now, there she goes. It's $100, you know, like, and I know there's X amount of you out there who want to see another way of doing stuff, right? So just do that up finger tight, right? And now my old way is I used to push it out by hand, right, out that way, but then you have so much trouble trying to hold the pistons and everything, okay? So that's, and then it's a simple case of lining the piston up with the hole. Okay, and that's lined up. And then we'll put this one through. Make sure we're inside the just my fat head in there. Make sure I'm inside it. And then let's see if that'll work. There we go. Just like that. Now, put that back in. Came off that way. And I'll just slide it in. Because they're reasonably tight. And I'll scratch a one on that, but thought that went really well, to be honest. Let's see, I've already taken the clip out of the back piston. I'm at the moment working on an idea to get those clips out, an easy way to get the clips out, because they always fire across the workshop. So I've got a couple of ideas on that too. So we'll just cover that for now. We're only going to be moving it slightly up or slightly down to get it lined up with the I just thought it was a really good idea to make this wooden thing up. I think it took me a couple of hours. It wasn't bugger all. A piece of 4x2, and I'll probably do the same when I make my engine. Do my engine, or the next engine, I'll make another one for whatever size engine that is. So the same deal again. And it is a pretty precise fit. And all I've done is slid it on. This is the first time I've ever used this, and it is my idea. It's just come to me out of my own brain. You can see how tight it is. Okay, and then lined it up with this lining pin there. These are just washers to go on the top. I'll just see if we're in the shot, because now I've moved back a bit. You are. Couple of times now the camera's flopped over while I was doing something. I might just I'll do that when I get it out. It's going to put a number on it, but the truth is these when I get the new pistons, these pistons will go straight back in the box. And you know, someone else will come along with the same engine or the same, and we might be able to, because there's very little damage on these. I can barely feel those marks. So right now, it's a simple case of taking that down. Oh, it's catching on the reef. So it's the rings are actually catching on it. I might just let that go. And that'll just give it, and then take it down together. Okay. Line that up through there. Now if I put something through there, it won't actually hurt anything, but it'll just keep everything in a line, like you, idyllically, like a nice round bit of rod. Nah, it's too big. Something round. Round and clean. Give that a wipe the old rag out. Right, put that through. And it's too big. Always a way in it. It's not round, but it's only going to be in there for a split second. Now, if we rotate that down, got too much rag under there. Yep, I think the rag is. It's always the way when you're trying to look after components that you may or may not be able to use again, and you're also trying to stop muck going into the engine, so she might be just sucking that rag down. There she goes. Sucking that rag down with it. The main thing is you don't force the stuff, you know. It's just gently. There we go. Now, a little bit more. Okay. Now I just realised a good way to lock that in place would be put the handbrake on, put the brake on. So put the nuts on. Okay, and that just gives the wooden hand a little bit more, you know, strength. Yeah, it's bouncing, eh? Ooh. Okay, left. I've got to find a different wedge. She's jumping up. Like I say, it's the first time I've done this system, so there's always, now that wants to go back, and then that's, if I go the other way and then put a wedge under the wheel, should lock it in place. Just bear with me. Okay. Okay, so it looks really good, but for whatever reason the hole in this block of wood, it just wants to be ovaled out. There's a slight difference in positioning, because it's got these pins what come up through the crank from the casing, so it's got to be. So anyway, I'm going to have to cut a bit out of the side of this hole here, because it, to me, it's sort of, it's close, but not close enough. It's, yeah. So I'm going to have to scallop that out. But all in all, I was probably better off on the other side, wouldn't I? All in all, I'm pretty happy with that for the first time attempt. And for you guys at home are trying to do these things, hey, if you're you know, like I say, I always try to show you ways of doing stuff without buying the special Harley Davidson tool, or how you can make something this simple out of a block of wood. And it wasn't that big a deal to make. And I'm pretty happy with that so far. All right, so hope you're having a good one. I'm having a good one, and I'll catch you next time. The duck is out. The duck is out. The duck is out.